Hi, thanks for covering the game and our program tonight. Just glad we won. We did not play very good football early. We tried to make it way more interesting than it needed to be. I talk a lot about Troy doesn't beat Troy. In the first quarter, we tried to beat ourselves. Thought South Alabama had a good game plan with the young quarterback. Thought they did a nice job. Our guys were resilient. 400 yards. We should have had more points. Missed a couple opportunities to score more points and maybe put the game out of question earlier. But very happy to get the win. Hard-fought game. Always a hard-fought game against those guys. It's a rivalry game, and they can throw the records out the window. It's going to be tough. So, but really happy for our young men. With that, I'll open up to questions. And before I open up to questions, man, what a turnout. Like our student section, they stayed. That was like felt like the conference championship game a little bit again from last year from the environment in the stadium. I thought our administration, Brent, and everybody did a great job of creating in-game things to make it I think they called it a four-quarter party. So it was a party at the end of the game. First part wasn't so much a party for us, but great job by our fans and our student section turnout. So always a great job by the Sound of the South, too. With that, open up to questions.
Kamani broke the all-time rushing record here. Just talk about that, but also how big was that touchdown on the fourth and goal there from him?
Yeah, it was big. I mean, I'm glad we scored so I didn't look like an idiot. I just felt like, kind of you get in those situations sometimes in the goal line like that, like last year at before half, you go for it, and it's the only play you're going to get, and you got one shot. I just felt like you get a chance to put the dagger in, you kick a field goal there. It's a 7-point game. Really doesn't change the game a whole lot from being a 4-point game. I mean, it does. They have to have a touchdown to tie it. They had to have a touchdown to win it already. So I don't really want to tie anybody. I want to win the game. And so on that 4th and 1, I felt like it was the right thing to do. They played really good defense down there. We had the ball inside the 1, 4 straight plays to finally score. But I felt like it was the right thing to do. And then at the last one, too, with C. Lou, I felt like, we're up 11. Don't know the field goal being up 14 helps you as much as all the stuff that can go wrong on a field goal. Last week we were up, I believe, 15 and kicked one against Texas State to go up 18. That changes it. It changes from a 2-possession game to a 3-possession game. The one tonight where we threw the fade to Silu at the end, it's an 11-point game. A field goal makes it a 14-point game. Still 2 scores either way. So I want to try to make it a 3-score game or just not do anything silly to give them a momentum swinger. And then Kamani, wow, unbelievable. I talk a lot around here. You guys have heard me say it. Better people make better players. If they were all Kamani, they would not need me. They could let anybody be the head coach, I can promise you, because he's an absolute rock star. And fantastic player, one of the best people I've ever been around in this game. And just so grateful for all of his hard work. You guys don't see it, but we do the gauntlet in February, which is basically gut check time for 4 straight weeks. If we go at 6 a.m., I'll roll in the building at about 4:30 in the morning, and Kamani will already be in the weight room rolling out with his gallon jug of water. He's a pro's pro. I mean, the secret to his success is called hard work and consistency. And don't ever have to wonder who's going to show up when it comes to Kamani. I know who's going to show up.
John, with them starting a different quarterback than I guess maybe y'all were prepared for style-wise, did that change much what y'all did defensively as far as your schemes to start the game?
It changed them a lot, which changed how we had to play some things. It didn't necessarily change our calls from what we had on the call sheet. It just made us lean to maybe some different things. We knew that with him in the game was going to be a little bit more split zone bluff with some quarterback keeps to get the ball on the perimeter. He's a little bit more of a running type player than Carter. That kid's gritty. I mean, he also presents some challenges differently. Like it's a small thing, but we always talk about when you're rushing the passer, versus a right-handed quarterback, you match with the left hand to get in the throwing lane. With the left-handed quarterback, you now match with the right hand to get in the throwing lane. And so there's some things that are just different with technique, some call things that were different about maybe how they were going to play the game. They're already a fairly run-centric team that takes shots off their play actions. But with him in the game, it was going to be runs with a few shots, but more intermediate, and then him running the ball some and getting on the perimeter. And I thought they did a nice job. They really game playing the thing for him, and we did have to adjust a little bit and recalibrate how we were going to do some things.
Coach, Chris Lewis had a huge game, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. He actually almost doubled his touchdowns for the entire season just with tonight. Just talk about his performance a little bit.
Yeah, if he's not the conference player of the week, I want to see who gets the vote. He just took over. And I think a couple of them he got PI'd too, to be honest. I'm probably not supposed to say that. I don't really care. I thought they were grabbing him. On the one touchdown he had on their sideline, that was a catch and a PI. Another great kid. He's incredibly smart, very consistent with his work ethic, extremely low maintenance. And I've had the privilege of knowing Chris since he was a sophomore in high school and recruited him to Kentucky. And when he decided to leave Kentucky, that was a pretty easy phone call to be like, hey, do you want to come here and help this team and get a lot of balls thrown your way? And he's been a difference maker. He's made some catches this year that have changed the game. Go back to Western Kentucky right before the half, right? He's had a bunch of them.
One, your defense, 3 touchdowns in the past 5 games. It seems like they have a little bit of a shaky start, but they really hunker down. Just kind of talk about their mentality the past 5 games.
Yeah, man, I think we lost so much from last year that the first couple weeks it took us a little time to kind of find our rhythm and flow and cohesiveness. Last week, we gave up a touchdown to start the game. We didn't give up a touchdown on the first drive. We gave a touchdown early. And over the headset, I was telling everybody, hey, good. It's where we were last week. We're fine. And so it was not ideal to get down 7-0, but we have been playing pretty good defense. And we've really kind of come together on that side of the ball in testament to our staff's hard work on that side of the ball. And our players do a great job of working to prepare so they can play their best.
Hey, John, just wanted to ask really quickly about the defense in the fourth quarter there at the beginning, holding South to that field goal. How important was that for your team tonight?
Yeah, it was critical. You think about it, it keeps it at a 4-point lead. That way when we get the goal line opportunity to go for it on 4th down, now all of a sudden you got a 2-score game instead of a touchdown game. But just really anytime you make a team kick at field goals, that's a huge deal. And to get those stops and bow our neck was big time for sure.
We kind of touched on Kamani. He had kind of I feel like a slow start in the first quarter. Looked at the stat sheet, over 100 yards rushing. Just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, the slow start I don't think was as much on him. They were, Eli Russ was out tonight. So Blake Austin slid in from left guard to center. And then we had a couple different guys play left guard early in the game. They did some things in regards to just kind of plugging some backers, 22 and number 10. They plugged those guys internally a lot and created some negative plays and some knockback things that really made it tough sledding in the run game early. A really good running football team wears you down, though, and I think we kind of wore them down later in the game. If we don't get the holding call, we're probably going to run predominantly for a touchdown after the short field, but we got the holding call that knocked us back. But, I think great backs get better as the game goes, and great offenses run the ball better as the game goes, for sure. What's up, Craig?
Hey, man.
How are you?
Anything else for Coach?
We got special guests.
Greg, before we let him go, do you have anything for Coach?
Probably answered everything, but
I'll answer one for you.
okay.
Whatever you got. Just one, though.
What did you think of South Alabama's freshman quarterback?
He's a good player, man. He's from my hometown. Watched him in high school. Really like him. thought they did a nice job game planning for him. He's, got good feet, good athleticism, and throws. He's got a big arm. For him to step up and play the way he did, I think in the situation was very impressive. I'll give you one more if you got one more.
Well, I mean, can you just give me a general assessment again, do you mind?
Of him?
Of the,
Yeah, I thought we didn't play very good early, and we had a lot of missed opportunities. We were resilient and tough and kept finding a way to maybe grit it out. But, against a really good football team, I thought we didn't give ourselves a good enough chance early in the game. We kind of beat ourselves some while also let them beat us too. But I just felt like our guys continued to fight and claw and show up, but we still did not play very good football. I mean, situationally, I thought we played really, really average. We talk about turnover battle. We were down early in the game. We got caught back up there. And we talked about explosive plays, which I don't think we won until about halftime. And then we talk a lot about being situational masters. I thought defensively we were situational masters on third down. I thought offensively just a little bit loose in some things there. Good. Thanks. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.